Good evening from wherever you're tuning in, and this is Metropole TV AFCON Highlights. My name is Nation Owano. Time to bring you up to speed with what is going on in Cameroon with regards to the ongoing AFCON tournament. Now, major games were played yesterday, and I'm just here to give you some of the highlights, the pointers, and some of the things to expect in the upcoming matches that are expected to be played tonight and later on tomorrow. Just quickly to give you fixture results of some of the games that were played yesterday. The following is just how they stacked up. That is semi-finalist of the 2019 tournament, that is Senegal, was squaring it out against Zimbabwe, and they won that game 1-0 courtesy of a last-minute penalty goal from Liverpool star, that is Sadio Mane. Guinea was squaring it out against Malawi. They managed to win that game 1-0. Morocco versus the Black Stars, that is Ghana. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Morocco. Comoros versus Gabon. Gabon managed to win that particular game despite the fact that they are missing their key man, that is a former Arsenal captain, that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, joining me in studio today is our senior African football analyst, that is Eric Shilenge, who's here to help me make sense of some of the activities that took place yesterday. Shilenge, it's always nice having you on the show to talk about matters African football.
Thank you so much, Nation. Such a good occasion here. The AFCON is with us. We've been waiting for about 3 years, and now it is game on. We want to see good football as the tournament progress on.
Okay. One of the key things that people are still struggling with is the name of the tournament. Some are calling it the AFCON 2022, but the reality is it's still AFCON 2021. Just a pointer out there, make sure when you're putting your hashtag, it's AFCON 2021. Shilenge, key games that were played yesterday, that is Comoros versus Gabon, Morocco versus Ghana, Senegal versus Malawi, and Guinea versus Senegal versus Zimbabwe, and Guinea versus Malawi. I think we're going to be talking about a couple of things here. The game yesterday, that is Comoros versus Gabon, they still won that game despite the fact that their star man, that is Aubameyang, was not in that particular squad. How influential is Aubameyang factor in the Gabon squad?
Without any doubt, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is one of the best strikers, not only for Gabon but for Africa, as well as for the English Premier League, and his impact cannot go without being mentioned. And him being out of the yesterday's game because of the COVID-19 positive, I think is something that may not have troubled Gabon so much yesterday, given that they were playing Minos in Comoros. It's a team who is making a debut in this tournament. Very bad news that they eliminated Harambee Stars on their way. I just wonder why Kenya is not here if Comoros are playing in this game. And it wasn't so much trouble for Gabon, but when they are going to play the other teams in the group, when they play Ghana and Morocco, possibly or a must, they'll need Aubameyang, they'll need his inspiration, they'll need his goals if they really want to progress to the next phase of the competition.
Okay. Gabon won the match yesterday, but looking at the Comoros squad, they really did their best, because honestly, Gabon should have scored more goals than they did yesterday. But Comoros did a good job in terms of containing them and not conceding more than one goal. Is Comoros a team to watch in this particular tournament?
I don't think so for Comoros, because if they are a team to watch, then yesterday's game is a game they should have won, or they should have had a good performance than they did, because they are playing a team. Yes, Gabon is well experienced than Comoros, but it's a team that they can be near in terms of quality. So if they fail to score against Gabon, and they need to play Ghana, they need to play Morocco, and those are African giants, do you give them any chance? I don't give them any chance as far as I'm concerned. And this is a tournament whereby teams very much concerned about the result rather than the performance. So Gabon might not have had a good performance as they expected. They might not have scored as many goals as they should have scored against Comoros. But the good thing is they got the 3 points, and which is a negative for Comoros going into the next game. Yeah.
Kenya might not be present at the AFCON tournament, but you have to talk about a Kenyan who's flying the flag high at the AFCON tournament. That is Dr. Peter Waweru, who was the central referee in yesterday's game between Comoros and Gabon. Those are just some of the highlights of the AFCON tournament. Kenya is not there, but hey, it's not all gloom, because we have somebody who's representing us in the continental competition. Shilenje, quickly moving into the game, Morocco versus the Black Stars, that is Ghana. Two things that I want to talk about, which has been a topic of contention even in the English Premier League, but we're not going to talk about the English Premier League. It's the use of the VAR, the video assistant referee. There was a point in the match where Ayew was brought down in the penalty box, but the referee waved play on, you know. So how questionable are such decisions? Because I know the tournament is just starting. So how would you rate the use of the VAR in the tournament so far?
I think without having a specific rating, in the world of football, anywhere in this world, you need to agree that there is no day that football shall be 100%. Even with the VAR, there should be mistakes, or there are mistakes that pass even the VAR, or maybe the referees that analyze it, they feel that maybe the action does not warrant a penalty, or warrants a penalty. So in any case, there's no day that the game shall achieve 100% accuracy in football. That one said, VAR is making also a debut in the African Cup of Nations. It's coming in for the first time, so possibly we shall expect that the calls shall not be as accurate as we would expect, or as we see in other advanced leagues. But saying so, if the referees saw it was not a penalty, then it was not. There's no other way we can look at it, because the VAR has around three referees. In the pitch we have also 3 referees, that is the main ref and the assistant 2 referees. If the 6 people cannot see a penalty in Yaounde, Cameroon, then here in Nairobi, how can we have seen it a penalty?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the buck falls with the center referees and the referees monitoring the VAR. Sure. But still sticking on that, just briefly, just my take, you know. The reality is sometimes referee, it's a bit questionable, because sometimes you find the same foul happening, but then a team is penalized, but then the same foul happening to another team, then that is not, you know, penalized. I mean, we need to get out of this situation. Yeah,
that's why I still go back to my earlier sentiment. As I told you that this game of football is never accurate and shall never be accurate. That's why it becomes the second sweetest thing in this world, because when we have these arguments that yes, it was a penalty, or it was not a penalty, it makes the game very interesting. It makes it loses emotions into these players, that now they want to showcase that actually we deserved this, but we were denied because of poor officiating, and it makes them to go back to the dressing room to work hard and give results maybe in the next game. So there's no a single day that we shall sit here and watch a game and say, wow, everything was 100%. I don't think in the game of football that is going to happen anytime soon.
Okay. Shilenje, very quickly as we wrap up the Morocco versus Ghana game, how would you rate the performance of the teams? Morocco, were you impressed by how they're playing, considering they're an equally strong team, you know? Even in the FIFA rankings, they are higher than some of the teams that they're actually playing against. How will you rate their performance yesterday, and how will you rate the performance of Ghana yesterday?
I feel Morocco has been on form. Going into this tournament, Morocco has been on a good run. They never lost a game in the AFCON qualifiers. They never lost a game in the World Cup qualifiers until where they are at the elimination stage. And going into this game, Ghana's record was also wanting. They've been losing and dropping points lately. And if you can feel, you can analyze from yesterday's game, Morocco are quite spot on. Ghana are struggling, especially in the final third, where they're not able to create goals. Their strikers look to be very blunt as compared to Morocco, who are having very speedy wingers, who are able to move the balls quickly from wing flanks to flanks and cause troubles to the opponent. So Morocco look very well organized, and it is just I don't know what is wrong with them, but they've been this way in a couple of the last editions. They should have won in the last about 3 editions. They should have at least won one of the tournaments, and I don't know what happens in the final end. But from the group stages, Morocco is always very organized, very ready to compete and win.
Okay. Speaking of the records that you mentioned, I think this year is going to be the 40th year that Ghana has not won the AFCON tournament. That's a staggering statistic right there. Time for the Black Stars maybe to rethink their whole decision and put their team in order. I mean, 40-year streak is quite a long run in a continental tournament such as the AFCON. Now, quickly switching gears into the other key game that was played yesterday, that is Senegal versus Zimbabwe. The question of VAR again was brought up in this particular one. Very quickly, Shilenje, was that a penalty or was that not a penalty? Then we quickly talk about the performance of Zimbabwe in that particular game.
One was a straight penalty. The defender handled the ball in the box. The referee did not even need second thought maybe to go and check the VAR. It was a direct penalty, spot on.
Yeah, so I was so disappointed, and I was so disappointed, and I could read the disappointment in the Zimbabwe players' faces when the referee called for a penalty in the 90th minute. That decision was so crushing to the players of Zimbabwe. How do you think Zimbabwe fared in that particular match? Were you impressed by how they were played, and do you think they have a chance to qualify into the next round of the competition?
Yeah, for sure, Zimbabwe were really entertaining to watch. They really appealed to many fans who are watching that game. To hold Senegal, a very experienced team, to hold a side with so many star players playing their trade in Europe, Zimbabwe did a good job. And in this game, you can really feel where experience makes the difference between them, because Zimbabwe had done everything. They were just a minute, because it was in the injury time, a minute into a draw. But now they just dropped their heads, they dropped their concentration. They could not keep the ball as they were doing early in the game, and it resulted into them having pressure to clear the balls out of the box, which led them to have a penalty. If they play the same way they played yesterday, going into their next games against Malawi and Guinea, they stand a chance to win those 2 games and qualify to the round of 16 if they maintain the game that they played yesterday. But again, congratulations to Senegal, because good teams, they win even when they are playing badly, because Senegal did nothing in the game. They offered nothing tangible to show that they are title contenders, apart from the penalty that they scored.
Okay.
Yes.
Anytime I talk about Senegal, I still remember how they beat Kenya in the last edition of the AFCON tournament. That fact is still painful in my heart, that they beat us in the AFCON tournament. Well, switching gears into the other game that was played, that is Guinea versus Malawi. Let's talk about Keita's role in the squad and his influence in the squad. You know, he's being coached by one of the best managers in the English Premier League, that is Jurgen Klopp, and also we have talked about the absence of fans. How will you rate the performance of Keita in that particular, the influence of Keita in that particular game yesterday?
Keita's influence, given that he's the skipper of the side, he brings in a lot of experience, he brings in a lot of leadership skills, a lot of trust. He puts trust into his fellow teammates that are not playing at the same level as him, a very high level of the Premier League, and is a very good addition to the side of Guinea. However, he needs to do much in terms of creation of goals, because he's the creative midfielder in the Guinea team. He needs to do a lot, especially when they shall be playing against the big boys in vying for qualification to the round of 16. He needs to come up very well to show his credentials, because so far as the tournament has been so far, the many players playing in the European leagues have not been able to show up their clear, or rather to stamp their authority onto the tournament. So he's still among the players who are still walking in their shadows, but the good thing is his side, Guinea, was able to get the 3 points, which are very much important in such a kind of tournament.
Okay. Shilenja, as we wrap up this whole conversation on the post-match analysis, there's a key thing that has influenced the lack of fans in the stadium. Apparently, only 3% of the population in Cameroon has been vaccinated. Do you think more could have been done to allow more fans?
It's quite appalling, and I think this is not just an African problem. It should be an universal problem, because COVID-19 is a world problem, and Africa is trying to cope up to its level best. Remember, this tournament was to be held in 2021. They are not able to do that because of the issues around surrounding Corona, because the teams were not able to cope up with the regulations. So as much as, yes, there are no fans, I think to the level of the CAF preparation, they've really tried, though they need to do more, given that they're only allowing 60% of fans into the stadiums, and up to 80% for matches, including Cameroon. And really, a game without fans looks very boring. You might think it's a training session. Yeah.
Very quickly, there are key games that are going to be played tonight. That is Sudan versus Guinea Bissau, and Tunisia versus Mali. Very quickly, as we wrap up, just wanted you to give me your quick takes on those particular games. Let's start with the Sudan versus Guinea Bissau. Which team do you see coming on top of this particular fixture?
Sudan versus Guinea Bissau. Sudan have been there, have been in the tournament. Guinea Bissau are making their debut once again. Sudan are well experienced. They played, they've been in the quarters. They've also won the tournament once when it was inaugurated, and I feel going into this game they are clear favorites. They hold an edge against Bissau, and I really expect Sudan to win that game.
Okay. The other game is Tunisia versus Mali. On paper, it looks like an easy game, but the reality is that it's not quite an easy game. Yeah.
It's also another tricky fixture. And I expect a similar game as the one that was played between Ghana and Morocco. Yes, West versus North. And in these games, in most cases, it is the North that comes up against the West. So Mali, yes, they're a good team, but I don't think they have the muscles to trouble Tunisia.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time that we had on today's inaugural edition of AFCON Highlights. We're going to be doing this every single day, so keep it locked on Metropole TV. See you tomorrow, same place, same time.